Go ahead and call tonight's regular council meeting to order. And for tonight's invocation, we've got Pastor Bill Heppy of the Nazarene Church.
Father, we thank you for the privilege of coming together to do the business of the city of Taylorville. We thank you for each of these men and women who are in leadership roles. We pray, Father, that you would add your blessing of wisdom to them. We pray, Father, that they would act in a manner that would be pleasing to you and that your will would be carried out. Bless them and their families and all that they love. And I pray that the city of Taylorville would be benefited from this meeting tonight. We're careful to praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Sean Bertle.
Here.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Here.
Rob Heatherly.
Here.
Bruce Jones.
Here.
Ray Coontz.
Here.
John Lawrence.
Here.
Martin Voda.
Here.
Earl Walters.
Here.
All aldermen present. Okay, first I'd like to entertain a motion to utilize the omnibus
Second.
vote for approval of the minutes of the previous meetings listed on tonight's agenda.
The
Dorchenez.
exception of
Yeah, and I'll pull that one out. Who seconded it down there? Alderman Jones. Okay, for just a roll call.
Ernie Dorchenez.
yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. And so for those minutes, we've got the minutes of the regular meeting held May 21st, 2012, minutes of the Public Facilities Committee meeting held May 24th, 2012, minutes of the Cemetery Board of Managers held May 29th, 2012. Also listed there is the minutes of the Street and Sewer Committee meeting held May 24th, 2012, but we're going to pull that to make an amendment on it. So it was those other three that will be voted on in this vote. So I'd entertain a motion to approve those three sets of minutes. Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman Haberlein. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, Alderman Walters, you want to tell us what the amendment on the Street and Sewer Committee meetings?
Yes, Your Honor, if you gentlemen would look at those minutes, it's on the back of the first page under Main Street concerns during farmers market. It's in the third paragraph that starts with the committee. In the second sentence, I'd like to change the month from May to April. That's the only change that we have. The Main Street farmers market is starting in April through October instead of May through October. So I'd like to amend those minutes to reflect that.
Okay. Can we do a second on that amended
Second.
minutes? Alderman Haberlein. Discussion or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Okay, next we have a resolution levying an additional tax of 0.02% for the library purchase of sites and buildings, for the construction and equipment of buildings, and for the maintenance, repairs, and alterations of library buildings and equipment.
Make that motion. No comment.
Okay, Alderman Haberlein.
Second.
Second by Alderman Voda. Go ahead with your comment, Alderman Haberlein.
I know each year we talk about it says an additional tax, but this is something that we vote on every year, and it's not additional, it's not new. It's just the verbiage of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have a resolution, this being the public utility easement agreement with Geckner Incorporated.
I'd like to make that motion, Your Honor, and
Okay.
I can answer any questions if there is any.
Okay, second by Alderman Bertle. Anyone have any questions regarding this? Hearing none, roll call.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have an ordinance ascertaining the prevailing rate of wages for laborers, workmen, and mechanics employed on public works
I'd like
projects.
to make a motion, Your Honor.
Alderman Jones. A second.
I'll second that, Your Honor, with a comment.
Alderman Walters. Go ahead with your comment.
This is something that we routinely do, Your Honor, for the benefit of those that are not familiar with it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have an ordinance amending Title 8, Chapter 4, Section 9A2C2 of the City Code addressing an increase in water rates for industrial users whose premises are located outside the city's corporate limits.
So moved.
Alderman Dorchenez, second on this.
Second.
Alderman Lawrence. Discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have a review of the closed session minutes. I'd entertain a motion to make those closed session minutes
Your Honor.
so identified to the public.
Your Honor, I enthusiastically reviewed the closed session minutes, and I agree with the mayor to no longer mark confidential those minutes detailed in the mayor's May 15th memo.
Okay. You have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Motion passes. Brings us to city attorney updates.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alderman, I don't have very much tonight. I would inquire of Clerk Peabody. Pam, have we received the Sloan exchangement thing signed and everything? Are we ready to go on that?
Yes, they have, yes. they've
Okay,
done
so
that.
that's probably
And-
going to be next meeting?
Yes, because we have to have
Okay.
a public hearing.
So there you go. We'll have that. We also have, and Pam, again, what about the Tullis and the city of Taylorville? Have
Tell
you
us
rec-
I have, the city of Payne I don't have yet.
Okay, I'll touch base with Joe Green on that.
Okay.
I'm also going to be revisiting, hopefully get Superintendent Wiseman and Spiegel together with Bernie Kirby to make another run on the, what I call the suppressor curb properties. We have provided Mr. Kirby with quite a bit of information, both from Spiegel and Wiseman. And I hope to get in touch with him this month and revisit the matter. I think Pam also brought to my attention a very interesting thing that we will discuss with him also, and that has to do with the old Spartak building. But be that as it may, that's basically all I have, unless anybody has any questions. The prosecution of, I think if everybody has noticed, the expense has gone down. I think it's attributable to the fact that we are no longer prosecuting the illegal consumption, possession, and I think that's worked out pretty well for us, in my opinion. Unless anybody has any questions, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, any questions for the city attorney from anyone? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to mayor updates. One thing I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, if they weren't aware of it, Helen Young passed away here, I guess it was Thursday. And if you didn't know Helen, she held a lot of positions throughout her lifetime, including executive director of the Taylorville Chamber of Commerce here in town. And her son-in-law, Mike Zeitler, was actually a former alderman. So Helen spent a lot of years in the community and served in a lot of committees. So we hate to see her go, but she was a very, very nice lady. The Taylorville itself had quite a busy weekend this past weekend. I mean, we had lots of stuff going on. The Art on the Square, if you had a chance to get down and see that, it was a good weather for that. We had a pretty good turnout from what I saw down there. We also had the Black Horse Powwow out at the fairgrounds, and of course the Nazarene Church came to us at last meeting and told us they would hold their Spirit Fest, and they did do that. So there was a lot of things going on here in Taylorville this weekend. I handed out a copy of a letter I received from the Christian County Genealogical Society, basically thanking us for the work we'd done out there off Kennedy Street there near McAdam Drive, putting those trees there, cutting all that brush out, and just kind of beautifying that area. And so they were very pleased we did that and wanted to thank us all, or whoever was involved in that. I'll go ahead and pass my thanks to the tree board and Rhonda Kraft for getting that thing going, for raising the majority of the money for the trees there. We also have to thank our street and sewer and lake department, because our guys went out there and donated or did some work as well. So it was a win-win situation for everyone, though. It looks very nice, and is glad to see that some of our citizens have noticed it and are thankful for it. So that's a good thing. Speaking of noticing things, if you happen to see a hole in the north side of our building up there, you know, the guys have been working on it, the masonry crew. It's kind of come to a halt. Apparently, they found a problem with the roof up there. And so Five Star Roofing is going to be here Thursday to repair a problem the masonry guys found. And the good news is, you know, it's still under warranty, so it shouldn't cost us a cent. But as soon as they get that done, the masonry guys can get back to work and finish up their job. And just a reminder, this Friday, channel WCIA Channel 3 will be here doing a live broadcast from the Taylorville Square as part of their Our Town series. So there'll be a variety of things going on the south side of the square. I know Main Street and the Chamber are all working together to try and get some activities lined up there. So if you're free and you get a chance to stop by between, say, 4 and 6:30 up there, it'd be worth it to see what's going on up there. We've also got, I'm going to schedule a ribbon cutting for the solar panels out there at the airport next Monday, June 11th at 2 p.m. I've got Congressman Shimkus is going to be there, and we've invited you know, other folks with the FAA and just a lot of people up there to work together you know, to get that project done. I'm hoping to have some kids out there. I actually purchased some solar powered toys to pass out there if we get a crowd. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout there. The last thing I've got is Tenaska. You know, we got some bad news this week. I mean, the bad news is it's just not going anywhere. Bart Ford was actually quoted in the papers saying that when you're not able to convince legislators to vote for a rate decrease, thousands of jobs and millions in tax revenue, you know you have some pretty powerful opponents, and we do. And that's kind of what we found ourselves up against. We couldn't outspend them. We couldn't propagandize them, and it's you know, they have the numbers with the north end of the state there not caring too much about what happens here in the central and southern Illinois. That's quite a hurdle to overcome. I'm in the process of writing letters to each representative and each senator, basically asking them if they want some jobs here in Illinois, to please take a time to call, email, or write a letter to Tenaska's headquarters and ask them, you know, at least tell them, if you'll come back one more time, we're open to working with you. We'll find something to make this thing go. The frustrating thing was, you know, at the same session last week, they went ahead and passed legislation for the Chicago plant, Leucadia, and I've looked at both plants, and Leucadia doesn't compare. It's not even the same level as ours. Our project is, you know, 10 times better than theirs, and yet we can't get the votes. But because where theirs is located, you know, it sailed through. To say I'm frustrated is understatement, that's for sure. But hopefully Tenaska will be willing to give it one more try in the fall veto session. I'm hoping that maybe just the embarrassment factor of them passing Leucadia might get them to look at ours. And I don't know how they can't pass ours with a straight face, but unfortunately those guys practice that a lot, it seems like. All right, I think that's all I got, unless you guys have anything. We'll move on to committee reports. Discussions and or motions to approve, adopt, and or deny, and or table, and or amend, and or refer to an appropriate committee in whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at the committee level. And we start with public facilities.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have one motion to make, and that's motion to direct the mayor to direct the city hall janitor to do painting of the municipal building. And for clarification, that will be the inside of the municipal building. I'd like to place that in the motion.
A second on that?
Second.
Mormon Heberlein. Again, this is just a few of the offices inside and some down there at the police station. The walls just need to be repainted. Historically, we've always done that in-house, so we didn't see any reason to put that out for bid or anything else. There's not a certain timeline that has to be met, so hopefully Bart can do that when he finds the time. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Moving on to Street and Sewer Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. With the fellow alderman's consideration, unless they want me to read 11 motions, I'd like to apply the omnibus vote for that.
All right, the motion to use the omnibus vote for all the motions on the
Yes.
street and sewer.
Second.
Okay. Second by Alderman Jones. Discussion or comments?
Your Honor, if I may,
Please,
just
Clint.
make a note that the one motion was a pay request number 5 from McIntyre in the amount of $362,987.49. Payment that large, I do think, needs to be noted publicly. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call vote on using the omnibus vote.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes to use it. And I'll take another motion to pass all those motions. We have to do two now.
You're waiting for a motion, then I'll make that.
Motion to pass all of them.
Yes.
Alderman Walters, second by Alderman Koontz. Discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, that brings us to the Cemetery Board of Managers. There were several motions made out of their meeting. What I'd like to do is ask the city attorney to just kind of, he's looked into this and he has some thoughts on it, has some concerns, and I think I'll let him speak, but I think maybe the best thing tonight would be to table these at this point. But Dave, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I basically had a conference with Billy Newberry last week, and he's the one that brought everything that I'm going to relate to you to my attention. He did a little investigation on, well, I guess this whole situation. This particular piece of property is owned by a Irvin shoemaker, and the property, Bill found two different liens by the Illinois Healthcare and Family Services. That's an agency that basically pursues people who owe child support and have not paid it, okay? This particular piece of property has two liens, recorded, one in 2006 and one in 2012. The 2006 is a recorded lien of $80,541.74, and the other lien filed in 2012 is $125,753.78. So does the Mester project come to mind? It should.
Yes.
We do not want to take title to property where there are that many liens that would be superior to ours. We wouldn't have a lien. It was my understanding that the general idea was to basically simply pay the outstanding mortgage with U.S. Bank for this property in return for the owners transferring the property to us. I did speak with Julie Carlisle, who is a person that deals with these liens and pursuing them either by foreclosing on their liens or by resolving them with people like the city of Taylorville who are coming in here wanting to buy the property. I don't think that we could ever get to a number, okay, a dollar amount for them to release these liens. But I mean, even if they discounted at 40%, it would still be, a lot of money. Certainly, nowhere near the value of the property. The value was the property is appraised at $15,000. The mortgage has what, 17,200. But if and that's why when I spoke to the mayor this afternoon, that I did recommend that I don't think this is right for us to actually make any motions on this until we look into it a little bit further. It may be a situation where if we can show, and this is what I discussed with Julie Carlisle, if we can show them that our closing statement is not going to result in any money going to the owners of this property, because they're the person who owns the money, that they may consider, she said they would consider, if they would consider releasing their liens for a sum certain. Now, I just don't think we're ever going to get to that sum, but if we want to go that route, I told the mayor that I would recommend that we get an updated title commitment to find out. This is just what Bill Dewberry found, and of course when he found that, there was a problem. But if we want to pursue that, two things. I think we need to table it and send it back to whatever committee this came out of, and find out if we want to spend any more money on pursuing this.
Alderman Walter.
I have a couple of questions for you, for the city attorney. Is the property owned solely by one individual?
I don't know that. We haven't done any
Okay.
title work on it.
All right. And then the second thing would be, if we could resolve it, if it's appraised at 15,000, if we went to the 17,200 and wiped out the mortgage, would that maybe resolve it? And
No. No, these liens are independent of the mortgage.
Okay.
They will stand on that property until they're paid or they're released in some fashion.
Well, then looking at the one final time, looking at the amounts, are those two amounts to be added together, the 80,000 and added to the 125?
Yes, sir.
That's over $200,000. It'll never be paid off.
Well, the thing about it is, though, that's what I was saying. You're right. But let's say, for example, they know that they're chasing a person that probably they're never going to get paid either.
Right.
Okay, this is all about child support. That's what
Right.
she kept stressing to me. She goes, we just can't release them just because, okay? And so she said, if the city would want to, again, because see, this is basically directly on this particular piece of property. But if we could come up with some number, if we could show them that the owner, who basically caused the lien to be placed on the property as a result of non-payment child support, if we could show that he or she is not getting any money,
Right.
then they may, for a nominal amount, release it.
Well, one final thing, Your Honor.
I can't, excuse me,
Go ahead.
Alderman
Yeah.
Walter, but I can't imagine them releasing him for, for less than 10% of what they are.
Right.
I don't know that. We
Well-
just have to try.
One final thing, this is a crucial piece of property for the expansion of the cemetery, so I'd like to see somehow that if we can try to proceed without breaking the bank to acquire this piece of property. That's my personal.
Okay. Yeah, Alderman Bertle.
I just got a couple quick questions. I mean, it sounds like we're under the assumption we're making a deal with state Illinois or whatever court system that has these liens placed on Mr. Shoemaker's property, but the liens are against him on his property, and we don't really have a dog in the hunt yet. So is not the normal process to make an offer on a piece of real estate, and then normally you wouldn't have this information until the title search was done, or the title commitment was done. Is that not right?
Well, that's true, yes, Alderman
So-
Bertle, but if you know before going in that you have liens that need to be satisfied, you might as well take a look at them and find out whether they can be satisfied.
And I agree with that.
But procedurally, you usually cut a deal, enter into a real estate purchase agreement. The seller, in this particular case, Mr. Shoemaker, would agree to convey good and marketable title to the city of Taylorville. There'd be an updated title commitment, and these liens would show up along with any other liens. And if he could not convey good and marketable title, then we wouldn't close on the thing. But I guess what I'm just maybe getting the cart before the horse, but if you know there are liens there already, let's see if what I would suggest we do. Well, I thought that the agreement had been informally reached, the dollar amount. Am I wrong?
Yes, nothing's set, that was his number, 17.2. We would have to do a title search and call the bank and everything else. And there could be more liens. Me and George, we was up there, and that's what we found, and I'm definitely not a professional title searcher.
I guess my question to you, and I hope you can answer it, would it not be beneficial for the city to offer or make Mr. Shoemaker an offer on his piece of property with the agreement that the title is gonna be clean when it comes back? So, I mean, I think he needs to be included in whatever kind of procedure we're gonna try to come up with this $225,000 lien that's against his property. It's his lien, it's his property, and it seems like we're circumventing that whole process, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, no, if you want to follow the normal course, making them an offer, but I think we're just, we're exercise, that would be an exercise in futility, because we know up front that he can't convey good and mercantile title to us. So unless, and he's not going to be able to get this particular department to release these things. He himself is not. The only person that could get that done would be the city of Taylorville. And if the city of Taylorville could put together a package, knowing full good and well that the person that's selling the property is not going to get any money, that's their main concern. If the person selling the property is going to get any money, they're going to want it. And I was under the impression that the 17.2 was just the outstanding mortgage balance.
Correct.
So in that particular situation, when she said that, the light bulb went off and said, well, he's not going to receive anything. Okay, in order to have the mortgage who has the first lien on the property, the superior lien, we would be wiping it out with the purchase price. Okay?
Would Mr. Shoemaker have to agree to that, since it's his property now?
Sure. He'd have to agree to, well, that was the agreement according to what whenever I was talking to Superintendent Newberry. And if I'm wrong, Bill, let me know.
That's what he said. He said that was paid off, and, but still I wouldn't.
Okay.
have to double check that.
I was
He
in
said
it,
it was
yeah.
paid off for 17.2.
I was under the impression that Mr. Shoemaker thought that we were gonna give him what he owed on the house. But now we're saying that we're gonna give it to you, but you're gonna have to give it to somebody else, so he's really not gonna get the house paid for.
No, Alderman Bertle, the mortgage has to be paid.
Okay.
Okay? So, at closing, okay, things like a mortgage are gonna be paid right out of the proceeds.
Okay.
They get paid first no matter what. The first mortgage, or the first lien, okay? In this particular situation, it is the first lien. So regardless of what amount of money, in order to buy that piece of property, short of having the mortgage lien on there, you're gonna have to at least pay the 17.2 or whatever the mortgage balance is.
Okay.
That's gonna get paid first no matter what. This owner is not gonna get anything until that gets paid.
Well, I'm with Alderman Walters. I think we ought to at least look into it to see, we've been going down a path here buying those properties on that particular side street. And
Well,
I think that's the path we need to take.
For tonight, though, I think we need to go ahead and table these, so I'd entertain a motion to table these. I guess they're basically recommendations. They say motions, but I think the recommendations of the Cemetery Board of Managers. And, okay, Alderman Bertle. Second?
Second.
Alderman Voda. Discussion or comments? Alderman Heberlin.
Are we sending this back to the cemetery board for resolution?
No, I think if we send it anywhere, it'd be one of our committees, maybe finance. I think probably finance would be the appropriate place to go.
Well, if I can follow up on that. And before we send it to finance, I would think we'd want to get some updated information from the city attorney to give us something to look at and work with at the finance committee meeting.
May I, Mr.
Please.
Technically, gentlemen, we're not, motion to table ends discussion,
Okay.
okay? Debate. So why don't we go ahead and and then I have something to address that.
Okay. So I've got a motion by Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman Voda to table this. No discussion, so roll call.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes. It's tabled. Attorney Fines.
Yep. What I discussed with the mayor this afternoon briefly was, I really kind of need to get your authority to go and get an updated title commitment. Okay, because that will tell us how bad the storm is. If this is the only storm, at least we know what we're up against. But I think that, that doesn't necessarily take a motion here this evening, but I think that that's what I would want to do in order to report to the finance committee and kind of give them an outline of what we're going to have to do. And I need to shore up some of these numbers. The appraisal, we already have the appraisal. I don't know if everybody else has seen that. Has
No.
Okay, so that's what I think we need to do, and Mr. Mayor, you have authority to
Right.
let me do that, but then I would report to the finance committee, and I'll give an outline or something.
Okay. Alderman Walters.
I'd like to think that money, the cost of doing a title search then would come out of the cemetery perpetual fund interest to do that title search.
probably don't make
I'm
it.
not making a motion, but I
Yeah.
would think that would be the normal procedure, because that's where the purchase price was gonna come out of.
Any other comments before we move on? Okay, we move on to a motion to approve and ratify payment of bills in the amount of $686,282.26.
If you will, Your Honor, I'll make that motion with some elegant comments that are limited to 30 seconds by the alderman on my left.
All right, can I get a second for that? Second by Alderman Bertle. Go ahead with your concise comments.
The total, as the all seen, is $686,282 in this first of the month batch. They include the contractual payments of $362,015.09 that you previously made, which is over half of that amount of the total. The other items are basically routine. Our insurance runs $107,851 all told. We're making the final 3 payments on the solar panels of $85,500. And there's about $50,000 of just plain routine supplies and maintenance.
All right, thank you very much. Any other comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Bruce Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Coons.
Yes.
John Lawrence.
With a prod next to me,
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Enthusiastically, yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, per Public Act 96-1473, this portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any city resident wishing to address the council on issues that are relevant to the council. Would anyone like to address? Yes, sir. All right, seeing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Alderman Jones,
Second.
second by Alderman Voda. Discussion or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion passes. Meeting adjourned 7:32 p.m.